Coinbase just said something very, very interesting, and it shows that they don't care. And I'm going to dive into what that means in this video, guys. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time dropping in, I'm here every single day talking about cryptocurrency and been invested in cryptos since 2017, but got serious in 2020 like many people out there and been in it every day since. I dove in late 2020. So Coinbase basically said that, listen, with all of the uncertainty out there surrounding regulation in the United States, which we all hope it just comes to a conclusion so we can move forward with this innovative technology that is blockchain and find a way where everybody gets a piece of the pie here, and let's innovate, right? That's what the United States has always been built on. But when it comes to crypto, they are lagging behind. And Coinbase basically came out with a statement from their CEO saying, listen, we don't care if we have to. Guess what? He said, we'll move away from the US if no regulatory clarity is here. This is coming straight from Brian Armstrong, guys. He said anything is on the table in terms of the crypto exchange's plans should greater regulatory clarity not emerge in the United States. Now, let me just say this. Right now, I only use centralized exchanges to off-ramp my crypto because, well, let's face it, of FTX, right? I mean, basically, that was like a huge warning sign to me, and I should have been off centralized exchanges fully already. Something I like to say, and it's not financial advice, of course, but, I wouldn't keep large chunks of crypto on centralized exchanges because it's not yours, not your keys, not your crypto. We know that. But for Coinbase's sake, I mean, it brought so many people into crypto here in the United States. It's one of those companies like Kraken that are actually regulatory compliant, at least were regulatory compliant until this crackdown that has come in the last couple of years, right, with centralized exchanges. Now, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong indicated that the crypto exchange would consider moving away from the United States if the environment for the industry does not become clearer. Anything is on the table, he said, after former UK Chancellor George Osborne asked whether he could see Coinbase leaving the US. This was at FinTech Week in London. He says, I think the US has the potential to be an important market for crypto, right? But right now, we are not seeing that regulatory clarity that we need. I think in a number of years, if we don't see that regulatory clarity emerge in the US, we may have to consider investing more elsewhere in the world. Armstrong's comments come weeks after rival exchange Bittrex said it planned to exit the US by the end of April, citing the, quote, current US regulatory and economic environment. Now, listen, this is not all doom and gloom. I think the United States is going to get this under control, right? I think they're going to get it right, actually. They're taking their time, they're taking their due diligence, but it's all about the CFTC and the SEC coming to some conclusion. Now, Armstrong compared the UK situation where there is only one regulator, which is the FCA there, responsible for both commodities and securities. But the US, a little bit more complicated because you've got the CFTC and the SEC, right? So the SEC handles securities, whereas the Commodity Futures Trading Commission handles commodities. And that's the great debate, right? In crypto, it's like, what's a commodity? What's a security? And now you have two governing bodies butting heads because they both want to be the enforcer, right? Now, you don't have this unfortunate thing happening where the CFTC and the SEC are having a turf battle. This is coming from the CEO of Coinbase, Armstrong. We actually have contradictory statements from the heads of the CFTC and SEC coming out almost every few weeks. And I can speak to this directly. I mean, we saw one of the big issues that they disagree on is Ethereum, which, I mean, obviously that's massive. It's, the second largest crypto. So many things run on top of Ethereum. The SEC says, yep, that's a security. CFTC says, nope, Bitcoin and Ethereum are both commodities. So which one is it, right? How's a business going to operate in that environment? We just want a clear rule book. This is coming from Armstrong. Coinbase received a Wells notice from the SEC in March, as we all know. Armstrong said Coinbase had met with the SEC 30 times without getting feedback regarding the nature of its business before receiving the notice. And he said there's a lack of distinction or nuance in how regulators view different arms of the cryptocurrency industry. Exchanges like Coinbase should be regulated like financial service companies, whereas the decentralized areas of the industry should be handled very differently because there's no central authority to regulate, right? We're talking DeFi there. Things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi, and even self-custodial wallets should be regulated like a software business or something like that, he said. So it'll be interesting to find out what happens next But earlier this year, it is important to note, Coinbase did unveil Base, an Ethereum Layer 2 network upon which developers can build decentralized applications, sending a signal it wants to go beyond the trading of digital assets and into developing and expanding the broader uses of blockchain technology. Shout out to crypto.com. They too are doing this as well, especially with their rebranded Chronos. And appreciate you guys so much for coming back to the channel. Hopefully you got value. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe down below. It would mean a lot to me. It takes like 2.3 seconds, and I know you could do it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.